Good morning. It's a real pleasure to welcome you all for the GCCX Hyderabad Summit. Samir and I have been thinking about this for the last 6 months, and together, as great partners, we were able to pull this off eventually in Hyderabad. So this is going to be an annual property that we're going to do every year. That's the thinking process so far. I think this summit marks an important milestone for all of us, primarily because it is not just for HYSEA, but the industry at all, because Hyderabad is shaping really, really well from a technology landscape, and we've seen a continuous double-digit growth rate over the last 9 years. It's a fantastic achievement across all of India. GCCs play a big role in that, and you've seen a little bit of snippets in our studio today. I think Hyderabad has about 350 odd GCCs today, and it's growing phenomenally. Two things I wanted to call out in this whole thing is that while GCCs existed for a long time, and some of us were here from the last 25, 30 years doing GCCs in India and Hyderabad, I think the playbook has dramatically changed. Like Samir mentioned, AI is forefront in what we do, analytics is forefront with what we do, innovation is forefront with what we do, research is forefront of what we do. I think it needs a pivotal shift in terms of how we manage the shift in terms of our business, and I think it's a great time where we're seeing a lot of value-added, creative, value creation activities coming here. And it's really great that Hyderabad is able to create this value proposition to attract a lot of GCCs here. So having said that, I think today's summit brings a few things to the table. One, I think we have a fantastic list of GCC leaders here with variety of experiences. They're going to talk about their vision, what have they done, how they're shaping the future. We have policymakers here who are going to be present, who are going to listen to us, and hopefully they're going to enable a policy creation so that we're able to make the shift in a more effective manner. We have system integrators here, right? And we have large GCC, SI companies here. If you've seen the landscape over the last year or so, more so than before, I think a lot of services companies have creating their GCC verticals and scaling them significantly. Hyderabad has the fortune of having 3 such companies having their GCC leaders based out of Hyderabad. So it's a phenomenal achievement, right? As much as GCC is growing today, I think SI companies have used Hyderabad as a hub to host GCC leadership. Not just from that standpoint, I think 3 out of the large 6 companies have the largest operating centers in Hyderabad. So I think it's a great potpourri that we have today of system integrators, GCCs, enabling functions, startup ecosystem, government policymakers. We're going to reimagine the way service delivery is performed, and we are reimagining the business. Having said that, I think one highlight of today is that we've jointly worked with PwC to launch a future of work report. It will be available shortly and will be launched today. That report is going to cover some insights into how workplaces and workforces are evolving in this new era and how that shift is happening, and how all of us can benefit from that shift. I think some of you all have been interviewed in that. I think this report is a comprehensive report. We'll have a more detailed one launched later, but that's something that we want to do. While we do this, I think this is not just another conference, but a platform for shared learning, meaningful partnerships, and co-creating the future together. I'm confident that Hyderabad is just not keeping the pace, but we are shaping the future. And thank you all for being here. And enjoy this event today, and we'll have an impactful day. And thank you again. Thank you, Samir.
Okay. Thank you, Prashanth, for being on time. First of all, the event is sold and overbooked. So if some of you are calling through your colleagues or through your associates, please tell them. Even if they call up Prashanth, Prashanth will not entertain anyone coming out here. It's absolutely overbooked. There is a concept in Japanese called Mitsi Kanoko. I may not be able to pronounce it properly. And that phrase, Mitsi Kanoko, denotes a human has 3 faces. A face which is always shown to the external world. Could be, let's say, your friends, acquaintances. Second, the face which is to your family, to your relatives. And the third face, which is not seen at all. That's the face. You see that in the mirror, which is unknown, only known to you. Put that in the analogy of a GCC today. It's a frenzy, it's a buoyancy. And if we have to denote 3 phases of GCC leaders, one of the first phase will signify how they manage their stakeholders back in the parent organizations. The second phase, how they manage their employees, their partners, and the ecosystem. And the third phase, they got to analyze where they stand. Is the GCC, what they have embarked upon, is on the trajectory of growth and scale and value realization put together? That's the phase they need to start ruminating on their own. And which is exactly what the genesis of GCC Hyderabad is all about. We are trying and attempting, the GCC leaders, analytics leaders, tech leaders, from different capability centers across industry to come together and start attempting to ruminate what goes into unraveling the third phase. Now, few quick things about 3AI, not spending much time. India's largest forum for GCC's AI analytics leaders. We've got 1,200 by and wide, top-of-the-line AI analytics and data leaders from almost 980-plus organizations. And within that, we have a huge penetration of close to about 430 GCCs with about 690 GCC leaders on the platform. And if that's not all, our outreach extends to 49,000 paid members across 34 geographies. And this has happened in the last 5 years, where we are pushing the envelope in terms of creating what we call curated and very, very differentiated thought leadership persona in the GCC's AI analytics segment. Now, GCC X Hyderabad, as I mentioned, this is a property which has been there for the last 4 years. Prashanth and me discussed this about 6 months back. We got the whole HYSEA and 3I team together, because this is one epicenter, which is Hyderabad. A lot is happening today. Previous year itself, about 70 new GCCs have opened. There's already a set of 300 plus in the consideration, which are already existing. Numbers are not important. What's the realization today is that the kind of work, the body of the work which is getting done from this set of GCCs is immensely top-notch, elevated, and absolutely very, very strategic. Now, if we take that into consideration, what's the thing which is there for the entire day? There are two segments, a day event which starts now, ends till 5:30, and there is an evening segment which is leaders exclusive evening. Now, within the day segment, the coverage areas are all curated, and I'll talk about how exactly this curation happened. First of all, no missing of the words. None of the event summit is ever possible with the patronage of the partners involved. Huge response, great set of what we call collaboration in terms of working with us together, understanding, and really, what I will urge everyone today in the audience, whatever they would be speaking today in their sessions, could be solo talks, could be panels, each of these sessions are curated. They've taken efforts to ensure there are no overlaps, no duplication, and whatever content gets shared, disseminated. It's one of the top-notch. 60 plus speakers, absolutely, I would say, phenomenal. I know many of them, Prashanth and me were discussing. I think the whole eclectic concoction of the speaker itself will provide what we call a very heterogeneous set of flavor in the coverage areas, what we're talking about. Now, this event was proposed 2 months back. We know we had a clock to kind of keep, so a lot of rallying together from HYSEA 3I team happened, wherein we went together and said, look, how do we create a property which stands tall and absolutely gets sustained in the time to come in Hyderabad? And that's where we have created 2 zones. This is the transformation zone where we are sitting. A lot of strategic talks, a lot of panel discussions, solo talks will happen out here. What we are uncovering in the transformation zone is what we call the art of possible. There's an innovation zone which will start post the first tea break. Innovation zone is all about making promise to life, or coming all these applications, use cases, case studies put together by the experts, SMEs, not only from the GCCs, but the provider firms, startup, academia, ecosystem as well. And let's talk about something, what is germane today. I think there are 2 things which are coming out very clearly in the business lexicon of the boards, CXOs, and the senior leaders, the AI and the GCCs. And today, if you look at the context of GCCs, There are terms across how do you create those AI native GCCs is coming to the fore. Because that's where the art of possible with AI, not just to influence efficiency, efficacy, would come into realization. Today we are talking about AI in its full glory, in its full kind of an avatar, really influencing the top and the bottom line of the organizations. Now, if we talk about some of these things in the context of GCCs, different maturity, different trajectory, different kind of a way how they're trying to kind of look at what we call a data to Gen AI continuum. But what is paramount today? With each one of them, there is a framework which is getting evolved. The framework is all about, am I able to influence the key business vectors, the metrics of the organization using AI analytics? And by the way, for the sake of the discussion throughout the, I would say, day, when anyone is talking about data, AI analytics, that subsumes the entire segment of AI analytics, which is data science, ML ops, data engineering, everything put together. Outside of the nomenclature, I think one of the very striking aspect of GCC is all about taking a balancing act. How do you look at a realization of scale and value with GCCs put together? And we'll talk about that in the subsequent, I would say, sessions. Important thing today, as the rallying cry of any enterprise gets centered around AI first or AI powered, the first and the foremost aspect of a strategic conversation is, does an enterprise, irrespective of the size and scale, have an AI strategy? And let me tell you, AI is never for the faint-hearted. This is one particular area which has gone through several renditions, genre change in the past. And what is coming today is nothing short of really changing the status quo of decision-making in the boardrooms at scale. That's a realization, what we call the real 9 yards of avatar of AGI, super intelligence system coming to the fore and saying, look, I can challenge what decisions are being taken in the boardroom. And that's where the AI maturity in terms of what strategy you would like to adopt becomes very important. Now with that, if we really look at how GCCs are trying to, and this is again an aggregated view, are trying to influence AI strategy for the enterprises, 3 large components or dimensions comes into the picture. One, whether you are a B2B or a B2C company, each one of the GCCs are trying to reimagine customer experience using absolutely state-of-the-art AGI systems. Second, innovation and transformation is a buzzword. But today, what AI is trying to do is through nuanced LLMs, TLMs, and SLMs, they're trying to create new innovative product and services. And the last, which is very important, we all realize today, the business value chains are getting deconstructed. What is coming out is a new set of segment, what we have seen how insurtech, fintech, retail tech are coming together with the usage of AI. And that's where agentic AI is coming out as a sweet spot in terms of deriving not only efficiency, effectiveness, but efficacy in the organizations as well. 3 frameworks very quickly, which will also be unraveled during the day, and Prashanth also talked about a report unveiling by PwC. Now, one of the framework which is very, very paramount, critical for GCCs is about when the GCCs embark on their AI data or analytics journey, the first port of call is always, can I create a very, very state-of-the-art center of excellence or capability hubs? Now, there is a framework around that, and we'll discuss that during the subsequent sessions. The framework is not just about putting talent and capabilities together. The framework goes much beyond what we really call the benchmark to governance framework. Now, to aid that, given how we today look at ensuring guardrails, ensuring hallucinations, or rather mitigating hallucinations, and also ensuring that there is a governance norm established, every GCC is coming out with a very clear AI governance model to ensure the parent organizations are very well kept aware in terms of how this entire 9 yards of journey of AI Center of Excellence happens. And last, which is, my bad, which is important today, the jobs of today, we all know that today, will not be the jobs of tomorrow. There is already a disruption which is happening across the career lattice, leadership kind of pathways, and that will remain very fungible, very disruptive in the time to come, which also means there is a subsequent and ensuing change in the job career pathways for data, analytics, AI, workforce within the GCCs and outside as well. I mean, for the ones who are aware of this, the classic model used to be data analyst to kind of a data engineer to a modeler to a kind of a visualization expert. It's all collapsed. Thanks to what we call a democratization of intelligence at scale with GenAI, these kind of career models in GCCs will go for a big change. Now, some of the aspects, if we aggregate together, and which many of you will hear during the day, how do you, despite this turbulence, disruption, and what we call really a kind of a time which is unknown, keep winning with AI from a GCC perspective? Few aspects, again aggregated. One, realization, what we call the epiphany is, never think about AI as a POC or a siloed base exercise. It won't work. Got to think about the full trajectory of enterprise-wide AI adoption. With that, never think about the cost of one component. You got to think about the cost of aggregated components put together, which includes the infrastructure, computing, and the talent cost as well. More importantly, when you are hiring the talent for AI in the GCCs, don't look at models, look at the value, what they will provide, basically. And if that's not enough, we are also talking about eventually it is getting linked to the business metrics at scale. If the GCCs are not able to really link it up in terms of any business vectors, could be efficiency, effectiveness, top line, bottom line, margin improvement, that entire exercise of creating a GCC with a reimagination of AI won't work. And we keep on saying, look, at the end of the day, the art of possible says, if we take new renditions, the art of possible says, while we discount what is happening from an AI side, if you look at 6 to 7 different, what we call moonshots, which can be created today, with the help of AI analytics, possibly by the GCCs, to demarcate, differentiate how they want to operate as a state-of-the-art, what we call our AI-native GCCs, these are some of them, and there could be more. We're talking about eventually decision intelligence hubs getting set up, some total of decisions being taken by an X-enterprise, and how that gets enabled by a GCC could be a moonshot today, but soon this will start getting into reality. With that, what we are saying and summarizing with the sessions to follow, AI-native GCCs is not just a fad. There is a lot of, I would say, mileage to be covered. There is a lot of coverage to be kind of unraveled. What is more important today is every GCC has to follow their own playbooks. Prashanth and me keep on discussing, we both worked in the GCCs. The copy, book, paste style doesn't work in GCC. You've got your own nuances, you've got your own stakeholders, you've got your own talent, and you've got your own remit, and you have your own leadership persona. If that's not coming as a right, potent concoction or a combination, the GCC will again be a Me Too player and commoditized. With that, thank you so much and enjoy the entire day session. Thank you.